CES is always a huge show for laptops, so to help set the stage for what's coming out later in the year, MSI has brought us a selection of its new gaming laptops for 2024. Now, before we get into the specific devices themselves, it's important to mention that MSI is making a couple changes to its laptop portfolio as a whole, and that includes getting rid of some of those monikers like GE, GS, GT, and just kind of streamlining the names of all their systems, which makes it easier to understand for pretty much everybody. So over here we have the flagship Titan, underneath it we have the Raider, and then in the middle we have the Stealth 18, and at the far end we have the Cyborg 14. Really easy to understand names. You have a name and a size of the system, and then we can go from there. So back to the Titan, which is MSI's most premium 18-inch gaming laptop. And as you'd expect, it pretty much has all the performance you could really ask for in a mobile system. So we're talking a 14th gen Raptor Lake refresh processor, along with up to an RTX 4090 GPU. Now, keep in mind, all of these systems are engineering samples, so there are maybe a couple things that aren't quite finished or may change when they get to an official release. Case in point, we have here, on this model, it has a QHD display, but it will also support a 4K mini LED display, so you get even better brightness and better colors. MSI has also made this thing a little bit sleeker, and they've also done some interesting design work. See here in the back, we have a two-tone design with this kind of thermal shelf over here, and some really interesting detailing with these blue fins in back. But the thing that I think is most interesting, check out this touchpad. MSI is equipping this thing with an RGB hacked touchpad, so there's glass all the way through, there's no border, but you can see where the line is and you can feel it too. And of course you have a bunch of lighting effects to play with, so you're never gonna have any questions about where that touchpad actually is. Now, sitting underneath the Titan is the new Raider. And the Raider is also an 18-inch system, and unfortunately this engineering sample, you can't turn it on, so we're not gonna take too close of a look at it. But for people who are familiar with MSI's laptop lineup, we have that big LED light bar in front. So even though it supports up to an RTX 4090, it's not quite on the same level as the Titan. The Titan supports a total power TDP of 270 watts, while the Raider only goes up to 250 watts. I know I'm only saying only, but there is a little bit of difference. If you really want the most power, you're still gonna want the Titan. That said, it should be noted that the Titan is gonna start at around $5,000. So I understand if not everyone has that kind of money in their budget for a new gaming laptop. So let's move over here to the Stealth 18. Now, last year, MSI completely revamped the smaller Stealth line in the Stealth 14 and the Stealth 16, and now we're getting the Stealth 18, which is the first 18-inch thin and light in this line. Now, of course, you still get pretty solid performance up to an RTX 4090, even though this thing is significantly thinner. Check it out on the side like that, and compare it to the Raider and the Titan down here. It's a pretty significant added sleekness right here. But once again, because this is an engineering sample, some of the smaller details like these speaker grills right here, they're gonna be darker, more to match the color of the deck and the rest of the laptop. And just like the Titan, you get up to a 4K mini LED display, which is really nice to see. But the really neat thing, and I've never seen this on a laptop before, is that in addition to your standard keyboard backlighting, there's also a strip of ambient lighting on the kind of lip right in front of the keyboard. So you can turn off the backlighting and get some cool RGB mood lighting from this little ledge right here. Let me try to flip it around and see if I can show you. There's a little strip right here. Now, I don't know if, that's gonna be the most incredible selling point, but it is a little small detail, and I appreciate it when companies, add their little signature touch to their laptops. And finally, we have the Cyborg 14, which is supposed to be MSI's entry-level gaming laptop. And a lot of times, budget gaming machines get a bad rap because they're often designed expressly to meet a certain price point. But with this, it seems like MSI is putting a little bit more effort into this thing. So not only is it gonna start at around $1,000, which is a great entry point for, a gaming laptop, but they've also focused a little bit more on design. We have translucent keys on WASD right here, a translucent power button, but the really cool thing is that, if I can close it right here, you have some transparent or translucent plastic detailing on this little lip on the lid, over here by the hinge. And then the coolest part is on the bottom, we have a translucent bottom with, some two-toned coloration right there. And when I think about that, recently we've seen a lot of people modding their Steam Decks with translucent plastic cases, and why not do it on a laptop? I think that's really awesome, and it makes this budget laptop, which still has pretty good specs. We're talking a full HD 144 Hz panel. It does get a slightly older 13th gen Intel chip, but hey, we're talking about a system with solid specs, solid price, and a pretty interesting design. And that's really all I want from an entry-level gaming laptop. So hey, good on MSI with the Cyborg 14, but of course, we're gonna have to wait to see how these things perform in the real world to pass a final verdict. But at least I like to see where MSI is headed with the direction of their 2024 gaming laptop lineup. But for more from CES, stay tuned to Engadget, and as always, check back to our YouTube channel for more news, videos, and hands-ons.